Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the REC podcast, brought to you by REC Comics and Collectibles. I'm your host today, Roman Chavez. With me, as always,
Erik Icarus.
And today we have a special guest. We have
Andy Mitchell.
All right, yeah, woo! So today, guys, today on the show, we want to talk about the series premiere that blew all of our minds, I believe, or at least something that we were hoping was going to blow all of our minds, and it is Season 8, Episode 1 of Game of Thrones, titled Winterfell.
I thought I was going to call it Reunions.
Yeah, I mean, it should have been, given everything that happened in there. I guess, first off, I just want to hear you guys' impressions of it. What did it do to you? Go ahead, Andy.
It was good. I loved it. I mean, but I love everything Game of Thrones.
Okay.
But for like a series premiere, it felt a little slow.
Okay.
Little not enough action for a series premiere or season premiere.
Okay.
You know, usually most seasons start off with a bang, but I understand what they're doing because they only have 6 episodes, so they got to move everyone into place.
Yeah, that's true. We got to be heavy on the story now because, I mean, with a total of 6 episodes, 5 episodes left.
We got a lot of ground to cover.
Tons.
Lots.
Yeah. Tons.
I to your point, I agree. It kind of maybe was a little slow. It didn't start with a bang, but it definitely ended with a bang. Like, those last 2 scenes were amazing. You know, we'll get to that in a second.
Of course.
But, you know, I thought it, like you're saying, it maybe was a little slow, but then, it gets you that punch as Game of Thrones
and then even
does,
Game of Thrones slow is better than any other.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
And you know what? And for a show that has no foreplay in any sexual situation,
Jamie does.
This episode was complete foreplay for what's going to happen for the big show.
For sure.
All right.
Yep.
I guess right off the bat, new credit sequence.
Loved it.
You know?
Did you notice all the little hints in there?
I don't know if I noticed any hints, but I just noticed a lot of cool
An
stuff.
Eagle Eye employee of mine pointed it out, and I was like, what? I actually slowed it down. Okay, so there's a moment in the credit sequence where it shows a lion eating a fish, a dire wolf hanged, and then it shows, I can't remember the last one. I'm so sorry. I should have wrote that down, but there's a last image of, oh man, it's a White Walker killing a lion.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Wow.
I did not catch it. Did you corroborate it?
I did.
Oh,
It's in there.
I'm going to have to watch the credits again.
I noticed the show, like the tiles flipping was like the Nightwalker army.
Yeah, walking
like,
towards,
coming down south.
Which I loved. For me, the scene where the wall has a hole in it.
Oh, for sure.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Did you feel this was the first time that like Westeros and I guess even Winterfell, like everything felt bigger to me.
Sure.
Everything felt bigger. I thought, when we had the marching of Daenerys armies into Winterfell, I mean, everything just seems so
Well, you got
big.
dragons flying around, and it's pretty epic. It's on a grand
And
scale.
then even the title sequence, like, this is the first time we don't have anything in Essos, the other continent, so it's only the title sequence is centered around the wall, Winterfell, and the Red Keep, and that's why, like, even in the title sequence, like, they go through the Winterfell, through the stairway on the Red Keep and stuff.
That's true. Okay.
Because before this, every season, every opening credit scene was different, depending on where the location of the show, of the episode was going to be.
I'd never even noticed that because anytime I was starting it, I was like, okay, credits are on. Let me get my snacks. Let me get this. Let me get that. So I was never really paying. Yeah. So and this was the only reason I noticed that there was a credit change is because I happened to peek while it was happening. It's like, oh, so I rewound, but I did not catch all of those those things that your coworker caught.
I would have completely skipped it because I've seen the show so many times that you
Sure.
can skip through the title scene.
Yeah.
But then my buddy told me it was different, so I was like, oh, I guess I'll
Yeah,
watch it.
you got to check it out.
Well, I mean, real quick, back to the title sequence. What do you think those little signs mean? Okay, I mean, Tarly is
I
the
want to
fish,
talk
right?
about this.
Is Tarly the fish?
Yes.
So,
No. The Catelyn's family. I thought they the fish.
Yes.
I can't remember what their house is. The Blackfish.
Oh, okay.
Oh, gosh. I can't remember.
One?
The Tullys.
The Tullys.
Yeah.
House Tully. That's right. That's Catelyn's family. That was the Blackfish there, the Tullys of, was it River Run? I think it's a River Run?
Yeah, that's right.
Something like that. Okay.
I just don't know. What do you think that means?
Trident,
What do you think the theory behind that could be?
So what was the image again?
Okay, so there's a lion. Let's start with the first one. There's a lion eating a fish.
Okay.
So
that could harken back to last season because Jamie
Maybe
and
it's
the
recap?
Lannisters killed the Blackfish
Yeah.
when they took the castle.
Yeah, maybe the credits are recapping.
Okay.
Could be.
Okay,
Could
okay.
be. I'm not sure.
And then the second image was the direwolf being hanged. That could be a.
When John was
I don't know. That could be. It could be Ned losing his head. It could be John.
Because didn't they think they hanged a couple of the Stark boys at one point?
They thought that that Rickon and Bran were lit on fire and hanged and lit on fire.
Okay, and then the last one was the White Walker, which I think this is just obvious. Is White Walker holding the lion's head.
Yeah.
So
that's going to be the Night King killing Cersei.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that.
You know.
Yeah.
I'm in. We'll talk weird theories in a minute, but we'll just get there. We'll get there. Daenerys' armies marching into Winterfell was awesome. Like you said, the episode should have just been called Reunions. And we had a lot. I mean, right. Which one were you looking most forward to that you got in this episode?
Okay, I have a tie. It was a tie between Jon and Arya.
Okay.
And Arya and the Hound.
Yeah.
Those are the two I wanted the most, and those were the two I think were maybe not as maybe the Jon and Arya was the most impactful because they hadn't seen each other since season 1. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the Hound and Arya is just cool. That's just funny. He calls her. I think he calls her a. Boop.
Oh yeah.
You're a cold
B word.
Yeah.
Sorry guys,
that's how you survived.
Yeah.
We are talking Thrones, but we're going to try to keep it PG as best we can.
So yeah, those are my two.
What I was most looking forward to, Jon and Arya seeing each other, and kind of what I liked about it was the fact that it was short and sweet. It wasn't this overblown thing, and I guess none of them really were. But I felt like maybe there should have been more weight to it. Sure. But I was really pleased with what I got.
Yeah, I like it because it's not their style. It's not Arya's style.
There you go.
Like she's cold, you know, like the Hound says. She's like a killer now. She's an assassin, and then Jon has the weight of the world on his shoulders.
So true. But I just like the scene with her pulling out needle.
Yeah.
And pulling out the other sword. Like, I think that's cool. Check that out.
And they're kind of like geeking out about it. And I loved her kind of, when he's like, "Have you used it?" And she says once or twice, and you can just see it on his face, like you had to. I was most excited for that reunion. What about you, Andy?
I like that one. I like the Arya Hound. I liked the Jon Bran reunion too, and he goes and kisses his head and is expecting brotherly love, and then he immediately knows his brother's changed.
There's a feeling there.
This is not the brother I knew.
Yeah. And even his, he's like, "You're a man now," and he says, "Almost." And I was like, "Ow!"
What does that mean?
Yeah, he's talking about South, okay?
Fair enough. You say about the one-eyed raven?
About the one-eyed raven. That's correct. We had some other key reunions with Arya. We also had her seeing Gendry.
Oh, yeah.
Gendry Snow, technically, but Baratheon, the bastard son of Robert. I liked that because there was definite sexual tension there.
Some chemistry there.
Which somewhat fits into, we talked about this last episode, or at least on our Game of Thrones episode, we talked to Andy's theory that he believes that Gendry could get the throne, and Arya could be the queen in the north kind of thing.
It's one of many theories.
Yes.
That would be a good way to not be predictable. Yeah. And kind of give everyone a good ending.
My thing is just why is he in the show?
You're right. Very true.
If he's not super important, because he was in it early, then he was gone for a while, and then they brought him back. Why bring him back?
He was gone for a long time. When he came back, I didn't recognize him until he spoke.
Right. Oh, for sure.
He was a little thicker. He was older.
That guy. And then, Game of Thrones is also not notorious for doing red herrings. You're right. They don't just put something in there for the sake.
Yeah, they want to come back to it. They want to, which I appreciate.
Signs leading into signs and they're leading into something else.
Yeah, I don't like it when somebody's like, "Oh, gotcha." No, I want them to call back to something that happened in episode 1.
Sure.
I want us to have missed something in episode 1 and it be impactful. Yeah. I would love that.
That'd be cool.
To that point again is their kind of reunion was super nice to see as a fan, but what is she having him make?
Yeah. She hands him that blueprint.
It's
dragonglass, obviously.
well, yeah, it's definitely
But
dragonglass and tip
what?
of it.
It looks like it's coming apart.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's like a staff that like comes apart into two pieces, or if it's like something she can like shoot, like a sling spear or something.
Okay.
Like a dragon slayer, an ice dragon slayer,
there we
perhaps.
go. Okay, cool.
I like the idea of her being like super sneaky, and maybe it's a staff that she wants to wield, and you know she's fighting so and so, whomever, and then you know maybe they think they got her dead to rights. She squeezes or pulls a trigger and it shoots a
There we go.
piece of dragon glass into the
yeah.
Night King. With the other, just some other notable reunions, we had John and Sam seeing each other again.
Oh yeah. You had to spill the bad news.
Yeah, it wasn't much of a reunion because like she just dove right straight into the bad news.
Yeah. Which let's get back to the bad news a little bit later. Tyrion and Sansa.
That was, I thought that was significant because Tyrion goes on to tell Sansa, like, okay, Cersei has something to live for, telling her she's pregnant. And then, Sansa kind of delivers this line, it's almost cryptic, where she says, I always thought you were the most clever person in the world. Meaning, like, she might not even be pregnant, and he's buying it.
Yeah.
So that's what I took from it.
I don't believe that Cersei's pregnant.
Me neither.
I think,
So-
yeah.
I mean, she was drinking wine in the episode, but granted, like in medieval times, they didn't know about
Yeah, they
fetal
didn't care
alcohol
about that.
syndrome.
Yeah. So
But-
I thought that was kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, okay.
I thought that they had some warm smirks,
Sure.
and there's a weird part of me that almost wishes they would get together. Like
Yeah.
that Tyrion would treat her all right.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, yeah, he would. Yeah,
He would still get his whores, but he'd be in bed every night.
Their vices.
He's
man.
got a vice.
But not everyone can get together, and everyone's gonna just die horrible deaths. So
Yeah,
that's true.
it's Game of
Yeah,
Thrones. We-
not everybody can
And
be
no one's
happy.
gonna make it. Not everyone's gonna make it.
And then we also had Ser Jorah and Sam Tarly see each other ever since the gray. You know, he fixed him from the grayscale, so that was the first time that they grayscale. Is that what it's called?
Grayscale, yeah.
Yeah. I would have liked that to have been a bit longer, but
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I would like a little bit more into it, like him thinking Sam, and then like Daenerys like really thinking him even more before her bad news.
well, she offered him a lot of stuff. I like the way that Daenerys does present herself. And, you know, as all of you who are listening know, you know, she fully admits to straight murking,
Barbecuing, yeah.
you know, the House Tarly, basically.
Yeah.
It was a sour and sweet moment because I think it does show us as the viewers, and I hope it showed Sam that, like, yeah, she has to do bad things, but she's not trying to hide it.
Of course.
Because there was a moment where I thought she was like
Gonna lie
not
about
going to
it.
say anything,
Sure.
and then he finds out later.
Yeah.
But I'm glad she came up to it. I liked his response, like, "Oh, you know, thank you for telling me. You know, like you told me, thank you."
Right.
But it was really sad. It was really sad because anytime Sam's on screen, you just want to pet him because he's just so adorable. But I think that how everybody is linked, where that string goes, seeing the Hound, seeing Ser Jorah, like how they all kind of affect each other. How this wide net grabbed all these fish and brought them to the center.
There we go.
You know, so I thoroughly enjoyed that. I agree with you, Andy. I wish it would have been a little bit more fleshed out, but I'm glad that it happened and in the way that it did. And kind of the forgotten one for me, and I was happy to have it, was old ballless Greyjoy saving his sister.
Yeah.
Theon saving Yara.
Right, that happened a lot
quicker than I thought it would.
Yeah, there we go. I thought that was gonna
it was
drag
one of
out a
those
bit.
weird Game of
Just
Thrones
boom.
like time jumps.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, because she's all the way down in King's Landing. He just shows up, saves her, kills Rob McElhenney or whatever from Always Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
From Always Sunny. Did you know that?
Yeah, he gets an arrow in the eye. I rewatched it after Andy had told me that, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is Mac.
Yeah. But then all of a sudden they're in the north. She goes to Iron Isles. He goes to Winterfell. It's just like the weird time jump thing, and it was too fast. It wasn't.
Yep.
wasn't
I thought
good
that
enough
was
for
going to
you.
be something that dragged out a little bit over a couple episodes and had more stake to it, and it was cool, I guess.
Yeah,
but I know
like,
they have to condense things, but they built that up the last
Yeah,
season. They
yeah.
really built that up, and then it just
Are we done redeeming Theon? Has Theon done enough?
no.
So you don't think so?
That's why he has to go back to Winterfell.
which I liked. I loved that conversation.
That's him is completely redeeming himself, is either giving his life or saving somebody else.
I think he will. There's nothing left that Theon can do other than sacrifice himself to make sure that the House Stark wins.
There you go.
He's ballless.
He essentially ensured the safety of his house. Now he's got to go ensure the safety of his other house. Because Jon did say you're a Stark and you're a Greyjoy.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think it's calling back to that.
And I thought Theon looked good. Like I liked his hair was a longer length. Like it looks like time has passed. Like months have passed since we last saw them. But I thought he looked cool. I liked it when he shows up. Like he still has that reek look in his eyes, just like timid. When he pulls that axe out of that dude, like he just looks so timid. But when he's focused and he's got a mission, he's been able to stay on point. For sure. I recently rewatched. Andy actually watched all the seasons in about 10 days.
Oh man!
And I've rewatched key moments, and I did rewatch when Theon saves Sansa and helps her get to Winterfell or get to Jon. I thought that was. I like seeing Theon redeemed, but yeah, like you said, so much hinges on him. Just not being a piece of crap and betraying the Starks, Sure. So I'm glad that he got Yara. We need to get that out of the way because it is kind of slow, to our point earlier, it is slow burning, but we need the story elements so that, because, we got to have at least 4 episodes of action.
For sure.
4 out of the 6 have to be so much war.
And then we need a wrap-up episode.
Yeah, there'll be 3, because I think this next episode is going to be a little bit slower as well, and it'll probably end on a bang.
Oh yeah.
And then we'll
go full on
2 episodes of war with the White Walkers, and then
a battle for the
one
throne.
more war with the Lannisters and throne, and then 1 episode for wrap up. That's what I'm thinking.
There you go.
That's what I'm thinking.
I agree with that.
What did you guys think of that? I didn't care for it, but that kind of tension between Sansa and Daenerys.
I thought it was forced.
Okay.
It's just like we're coming to the end of the series. We don't need additional conflict. Like I understand she's upset and stuff, but I thought they took it a little too far. It's like you can be upset, but still, serve.
Sure.
It
just kind of upped my Sansa hate a little bit.
Yeah.
And
I liked her last season. Like last season was the only season I liked Sansa, and now I'm back to not liking her.
You realize there's an army of zombies coming to kill you.
Yeah.
And Jon says this numerous times through the whole show. Who cares? It doesn't matter now.
That's how I felt like it's forced conflict. It's
there you go.
It was just more to just extra side. Yeah.
It's turning into, it made it feel a little soap opera for me.
Yeah.
I feel like Jon is Mugatu from Zoolander 1. Like, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. It seemed like every time he opened his mouth in the last 2 episodes, guys, the dead are coming.
Yeah. Come on.
And he keeps reiterating, hey, titles don't matter. If we're all dead, it does not matter. Yeah. Like, I love Jon's outlook on everything. Like, I gave up my throne. I had to choose between being a king or being someone from the north, and he chose to be somebody from the north. And, it's just, everybody's just so hung up on the politics. Even Daenerys. Daenerys is hung up on the politics.
Right.
It's none of that matters until the Night King is dead.
There you go.
And right now, every person that dies becomes a minion of the Night King. So his army grows so fast, they need to, they just need to all get their heads in the right spot. But I did like the line, very catty when it's Sansa, Jon, and Daenerys, and they're addressing all of the people of the North, and they're talking about how food's going to be in short supply, and Sansa's like, I don't even know what dragons eat, and Daenerys is like, whatever they want, and she looks over at Sansa like, I'm a dragon, I'm a dragon,
You're
like,
cool.
let's be cool, the Cersei hiring Bronn to kill her brothers.
I think I'm going to maybe relay back to your point of something being forced. It seems a little forced to me. Don't need it.
It's a plot.
He's not going to do it.
It's a plot thing to move him north.
Fair enough. Sure. Fair enough. Sure.
And it's also one of those to reunite with them, and it's going to go back to the point where Tyrion was like, whatever anyone offers you, I'll double it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Fair
I said
enough.
it way early on in the show.
Yeah.
I think it may come down to maybe him. He doesn't need to redeem himself per se, but he's always thought of Bronn. Always thinks about Bronn.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe at this point he needs to. It'll show him thinking about someone else. Like he's
Yeah.
like, I've got to get there and be there for them, not
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
You know,
I
maybe
think
that's
he's-
his way of kind of redeeming himself.
I think he's
that way.
become too good of friends with Jamie and Tyrion.
Right.
And
And
now
he's
that
not
they're
gonna
on the
matter
same
later on.
side, like he's just gonna join them.
Yeah, totally.
Did it cross either of your minds that it's the hand, the queen's hand, that Meister?
Yeah, what's
That-
his name? Oberon or something? No.
That's not Oberon. I can't remember.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, that one dude.
He, Cersei's hand. That he's just like, hey, go kill these people. We don't see Cersei give him an order.
Sure.
He just does it.
I don't know. So far, he's been extremely loyal to Cersei.
I think he's being loyal to
And
Cersei
then at the
in his
same
mind.
time, I believe Bronn and Cersei dated in real life.
Yeah.
And they can't be in the same room.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
maybe
but
that plays a
Yeah,
part
that's
into it.
interesting.
But yeah, give me 10 seconds less of dragon flying and aerial shots, and give me 15 seconds of Cersei being like,
And go higher.
go do that
No,
thing.
man, she had to talk about elephants for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
She had to have intercourse with the Greyjoy guy.
Yeah,
Greyjoy.
Euron.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go to Unky Euron.
Who I love to hate.
Yeah,
I
me
love
too.
to hate that
Yeah,
guy.
he's a good villain.
like I can't wait till he dies.
Yeah.
But like,
He's not Ramsay level, but
no,
Yeah.
no,
he's
yeah.
good. He's
But
good.
who is, man? Who is? But at the same time, I didn't think about Ramsay Bolton once in this whole show.
Oh, for sure. I miss him, but you're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
I hate to miss him. I'm curious if there's something more going on there. Like he sends, the Meister, her hand sends Bronn, and is just like, she'll reward me, like I'm doing this, but then she's gonna be upset that Jamie.
It could happen too, and because I just thought of this actually, because last season, when Jamie's like, I'm done, I'm leaving.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
And she was like, the mountain will stop you, but then she like
Lets him
doesn't-
go.
She lets
So
him
why
go.
let
She
him
doesn't
go?
have the mountain
Why let him
kill
go?
him? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It would be
and
interesting
yeah,
if the
I think you're
Meister
right.
is doing what he thinks is in her best interest, and then he's saying, "Oh, I thought I was going to die poor and without lands, and she rewarded me." He's going to say that he did this thing, and then she's going to kill him
Yeah.
for like stepping out of turn.
Yeah, I think you're right there.
All right, there you
It's
go.
very, very possible.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't think that's how he dies. I have my own thing how he dies. but-
Sure. I thought that there was something significant. You guys may not agree. But I thought it was weird. There was a scene where Bran is staring at Tyrion.
At everybody.
I know he stares at everybody.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
I don't know. It was
Even the dragons stare at people. Like when Jon and Daenerys were kissing, that one dragon's like,
yo man, that's your aunt.
you even know.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, I thought the dragon was like smiling, like he wanted it to happen.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's what Targaryens are known for, like
It's true. It's true.
keep it in the family.
So you guys don't think that Bran staring at Tyrion means anything? That's fine.
Nah,
That's fine. You guys will see.
What do you think?
No, I have no idea what it means. He was
I
just
think
up
he's
there.
a creep.
He is a
He's
creep.
He's just a medieval Professor X creep.
Yeah, I think you just see someone and then like sees everything about them. All
Yeah.
the visions
Oh,
and-
interesting. Yeah.
That's true.
And that's why he stares.
That's
yeah.
true.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, he's maybe it means nothing. I feel like it means
It
something,
means
but
nothing and everything. Same time. There you go.
something that was of hot debate over this long hiatus of the show was whether or not our Night's Watch friends and Tormund and Beric Dondarrion, whether they survived the onslaught at the wall. I mean, they were literally on the wall when it was crumbling, and lo and behold, everybody's okay.
Yep.
Seems like everybody's okay. I don't know if anybody
I
died.
believe it's called a plot armor.
Yeah, plot armor, which is I had never heard that term until yesterday.
Oh, really? Oh,
And then
okay.
I've heard it twice. I've never heard that
Oh,
term in my
weird.
life, and
Yeah.
I've heard it twice in the last 2
weird.
days
Okay.
about Game of Thrones and
Oh.
about two different things about Game of Thrones now. Somebody was talking about how Jon Snow has plot armor, But yes, I was happy to see that they were okay. I am of the mindset. I thought that Ghost was dead. The Jon's direwolf.
Oh yeah, but we don't ever see him die.
We don't ever
we're
see
gonna
him
assume
die?
He's alive. That's how I
He's,
feel.
he's definitely alive.
But he was definitely in Castle Black. But maybe he was in Castle Black and not at the wall.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think they would show us him
Because he
dying.
wasn't in season 7 at all. They didn't,
No,
show,
for
they
sure.
didn't show him at all.
That's so crazy.
but
That's
he's
so
not
crazy.
dead. He's still alive.
He's
Okay.
around. And there's another direwolf around.
Because I really wanted to
Nymeria is
see...
still around.
Oh, that's right.
The last
Okay.
two, John's and Arya's wolves are still around. Which Andy, you think that they're going to show up?
Oh, yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
With
I
the other
think-
wolves, right?
Yeah, I think like Arya, like in the battle or whatever, Arya's like about to die or something, and Nymeria and her wolf pack jump in and say,
"There we go."
Because the dire wolves, they're like much bigger than other wolves,
Yeah,
right?
they're automatically
Okay.
going to be alpha.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha,
totally.
gotcha.
They're, at least double the size, at least.
We got to see all of our free folk in Night Watch at House Umber.
It was cool seeing them come together. And
Yes, they weren't together. They were the Castle Black people, and then the people at the wall, and then they end up meeting
And it was cool
at House
that
Umber.
they accept each other just immediately off the bat. The crows with the wildlings.
Yeah,
Perfect
totally,
friends,
totally.
like
It
when
was
they
cool.
hated each other forever. It was like, oh my god, you're alive. That's all I need to
Oh,
know.
They were
it's
happy. They were happy,
yeah, yeah.
And it was great to see that. Like it was cool because I didn't know where they were when they were in this castle, and you see the blood spots in the snow and no bodies, and then this mural
This
of
arts and crafts project
of the Night King.
So amazing.
He's like, guys, I just need to create before
Yeah.
we leave. He's what's that eccentric painter with the Campbell soup?
Oh, Andy Warhol.
Yeah, he's like the Night King's like Andy Warhol. It's like I just need to do this.
This is my Warhol.
Yeah, I thought all of the arms and everything
Francis Bacon.
everything looked like crab legs on there.
I think it maybe goes back to your point of how everything is being pulled into it.
Yeah,
It looks
to the
like
center.
A big
Yeah.
circle. So maybe it has something to do with what you said, man.
Could be.
So-
And I didn't see it coming at all when the head of House Umber, that boy, is like skewered in the middle of this circle.
Yeah.
And then like he's like talking and he's like out of focus and then his eyes open.
Yeah.
It gave me, and I was like, oh. And like when his eyes opened, I was like, why didn't I see this coming?
Yeah,
It was
I didn't see his eyes open, so he just started screaming, and it scared the piss out
Yeah,
of me.
it was
Yeah.
good. That was a
Yeah.
good scare.
Dude, yeah, that like wild scream and then they just light him up. Like
Yeah.
that was
I love
crazy.
that sword, man.
But what's interesting, I don't know how many of them. I hope that that's not everybody from Castle Black and everybody from
Oh,
the Wall,
wow, yeah,
because
yeah.
it sounds like it could be advantageous because obviously the Night King is ahead of them.
Sure.
So you have the people, the wildlings and the Night's Watch, kind of coming up behind them. I mean, are we going to kind of pincer move these people? Is it going to be helpful? What other armies are going to show? But I think that that's interesting that without even knowing it, they're kind of.
You didn't watch the scenes for next week, but
I did not. I do not want to know. Well, you can talk about it, but I didn't want to see it.
And they talk about how if they ride the horses, they'll beat the army there.
That's true. That's true.
So they're going to use that Game of Thrones time jump.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're going to make it in time. 2 seconds later.
But and then in scenes for next time, they show up. They're
Okay.
there before.
There you
They're,
go.
Oh,
they're like literally right before it looks like.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Ah, well.
Fair enough.
I thought from start to finish, like I couldn't put it down in terms of like I didn't want to leave to use the restroom, and then when it was wrapping up, where we have Sam and John
Throwing out.
broing out in the catacombs, and then Sam telling John like,
It's your aunt, man.
"Yeah, man, you're doing your
It's
aunt."
your hot aunt.
Yeah.
And he's like, sweet.
Do you-
I mean, he never said aunt in the whole thing, like.
That's true. Yeah, actually, no, he doesn't even say what his link is to her, but I think he's like, look, this is already
on,
gross.
dude.
Like, you got to
Yeah.
figure it out.
But he's like, I'm a Targaryen. I love it.
I don't know if they'll ever say the word aunt because they want to keep it away.
I want to keep it less gross.
Keep it less
for the
gross,
audience.
but even though it's still gross. Yeah.
Do you think John accepts this? Because we don't see him actually like kind of reconcile this.
Sure. I think he's going to be of the mind of like, well, it doesn't matter right now. We got the dead coming to us. I will figure this out later.
Yeah, guys, these titles mean nothing. Like that's really what
And
it's
this is what
about.
breaks him?
Yeah, it's not about the fact that the titles of king, like he's known the whole time, and he's trying to get everybody on the same page. Like aunt, uncle,
No,
nephew.
I could just see
These
him
titles
like,
mean nothing.
Like in the crying game where he's in the tower, just like just breaking down. Yeah.
He's a couple. He's a couple Starks, loose of losing his mind
Yeah,
because
for sure.
yeah, poor guy, man. And then it's like, cool, I found this cool hot chick. I never thought I'd find another woman. She's my aunt.
Yeah, I get to fly your dragon.
Yeah. I think that there's going to be a moment. I think that it, even though the titles don't mean anything to him, does he tell Daenerys, and then how does she take it? I'm concerned there's a world in which she's built this whole thing and like I'm the last Targaryen, I'm supposed to be queen, and it's like, well,
Not anymore.
I am a Targaryen. How are they going to prove it, though?
Sure.
And I think that the way that they'll kind of prove it is maybe he tells her in secret near the dragons, and maybe she starts getting mad, and one of the dragons kind of like starts to protect Jon.
Ah,
You know, maybe he growls at
That'd be cool.
you know maybe he growls at
Yeah,
Daenerys.
gets between 'em.
Yeah, something like
That'd be
that.
kinda cool.
Like that'll be how she knows,
Yeah, that's
and then
kinda
she will
cool.
proceed to go to any lavatory she can to expel bile. But maybe they don't
Yeah, I think
care.
she's cool with it.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I think they're
Fine with
cool
it.
with it. I don't think John tells her right away. I don't think she'll find out. I think he'll like tell Sam like we gotta keep this quiet.
Yeah, just until the war's over.
Yeah, because we need the Northerners to follow a Stark. They're
Yeah.
not gonna follow me if I'm a
It's
Targaryen
Targaryen.
because North hates Targaryen.
Yeah.
that's
That's
very
true.
true.
So I could see him keep it secret. Maybe he tells her in secret.
Yeah.
But, like,
Yeah, or I could just see like maybe Sansa overhearing it and then be like, "Oh, you're not even one of us," and being Sansa. And
Yeah. I could
Well,
definitely
well,
see that.
I could, for me, it's one of those things like, oh, well, Jon should be king because he's the Targaryen,
he's
like,
first in line.
and then maybe she's got to burn Sansa or
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I'm under the impression that Bran knows, obviously.
Oh yeah, Bran does know because
Bran knows,
when
yeah.
we see when we first hear about it, he's seeing the vision. Remember?
is that-
Yeah, that's when he goes to the tower. It's called the Tower of
that-
Joy.
they have that-
Yeah.
And they have that
that's
cool
right.
fight with
Okay,
young
yeah,
Ned
yeah.
and all of that,
Yeah,
and
find
that
out,
dude
yeah.
with awesome swords with 2
And he
swords.
gets stabbed in the back.
Yeah, yeah,
by
the
Mira's father. Or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Which I think that after we talked the other day, I think Mira's army may be like, when we're thinking of the Battle of Helm's Deep, when Gandalf shows up with the Rohan guys,
Yeah.
like maybe it's going to be an all is lost kind of moment, and then Mira's
They
family
come
shows
in on
up.
giant frogs or something. Because in the book or in the show, they make them sound like they're like Northerners, but in the books, I think they're like swamp people.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. You remember
Yeah,
Mira?
it's
She was
been
the
a
one with the
long
bow
time
and
since I
arrow,
read it. Oh,
who
yeah.
had the brother that
Oh, yeah.
had the visions first. Okay.
Yeah, I think
Oh, yeah.
people are like they like live in the swamps or something. If I remember right, I don't hold me to that.
Yeah,
Swamp.
I'm very curious if her people will show. If what was that house that that said, "Hey, we're going to keep our people at home."
I can't remember that house, but this is the second time they've done it.
Yeah, the second time they betrayed the Stark house. They're like, "Oh, we've stood by them for 1,000 years."
They didn't help him. They didn't help John fight Ramsay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
And then they were like, after John won, they were like, we'll be behind you forever,
Yeah.
like we always have been. We were sorry, and then they go and do it again.
It'll be interesting if all of those kind of lesser armies do show up.
Yeah.
Just to kind of even it out because the dead are going to be so. I'm crazy excited for this fight.
Oh, yeah.
I am crazy
Oh,
excited
yeah.
for this fight. But we got a lot of ground to cover. What did you glean from this episode? What do you think is going to happen about a few topics?
What do I think is going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I have a million different things I think is going to happen.
Sure, give
But,
me 2 of your favorites.
Well, for one, I think that Gendry and Arya are definitely going to get together. I think they marry, and they either rule Winterfell, because I think Sansa dies a horrible death, but or they sit on the Iron Throne. Like, that's my wildest theory.
Okay.
And then I don't think Jon and Daenerys die. I think they just end up giving up the crown and like going to
Live in the countryside.
live in the countryside,
Raising
raise a child
dragons.
or something.
Raising dragons and inbred children.
But like just like in this next episode, I think is gonna happen.
Yeah, please.
It's gonna be we're gonna have the Jaime Lannister trial. The Crows and what's his name?
The
Free-
wildlings
Yeah.
or the free folk.
Tormund. Tormund. Yeah, they're gonna show up, interrupt the trial, and the White Walker's gonna be right behind them, and
Yeah.
it's gonna end with.
Like, yo, this is cool and everything, but like we gotta
Yeah,
go.
yeah. I think Jaime gets redeemed that way because he's like, "Give me a sword, I need to help."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Jaime is the one that kills the Night Walker.
Because
Or the Night King.
because he's the Kingslayer?
He's the Kingslayer.
Yeah.
And it'll redeem the name Kingslayer, you
Yeah.
know? So, like,
Technically, so is oh my goodness, he shot his dad with the, what's his name? Help me out here.
Oh, Tyrion. Tyrion's also a Kingslayer.
He's also a Kingslayer.
There are a couple of Kingslayers, you know?
True. Well, no, he's not. Tyrion's not a Kingslayer.
Oh yeah, he was
He
the
didn't.
hand.
Oh yeah, it was the hand. But
Killed the
people
hand.
thought that he killed Joffrey though.
Yeah,
True.
he didn't kill Joffrey.
Yeah.
It was.
And technically, yeah,
Yeah.
that guy
Or
was the
Lena.
king, basically.
Yeah, or Lane.
There's just a couple. I mean, there's a million different things I think could happen,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think we're just gonna. I can't even tell anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do.
It's hard for me to speculate because I don't want to ruin it for myself. It's hard to give predictions because it's just one of these shows where I'm like, man, I want to experience it as it happens.
You almost don't want to be right.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes,
See, I'm the
yes.
absolute other way.
Yeah.
I want to be
Yeah, you
smarter
are.
than everybody else when it comes to storytelling. Guys, I'm saying it, I'll say it again. Rhaegar is Jake and Hagar. It sounds even like Rhaegar, bro. Andy doesn't like my
really
theory.
want this,
I just...
Rhaegar, and I proved
Faceless
this to
man thing
you.
to work out.
Rhaegar was killed by.
Were you
Robert
there?
Baratheon.
Were you there?
Ned Stark was.
Dang
You
it.
like Ned?
I do like Ned.
Yeah.
I respect Ned. I want to see this trial of Jaime Lannister. I want to see him redeemed not only by because obviously Brienne will step in, Tyrion will step in. So he's got allies.
I really want to see, just for fun, like I want to see the weird love triangle between Brienne, Tormund, and Jaime.
Yeah.
And like maybe like Tormund like fights Jaime, and Jaime has no reason why. It's like,
Yeah.
what the hell's going on? And it's all over Brienne. Yeah, I kind of want to see that. I think it'd just be funny.
And then Brienne will be able to bring up that, hey, Catelyn wanted me to protect him.
Yes.
Like they had a truce.
Yeah.
And then it's Jaime that's like, you need to leave Red Landing before something happens to you, and you need to protect these girls.
Yeah.
It's Jaime that pushed her on the quest to protect Arya and Sansa.
That's true. That's true. So it'll be good because I think we all like Jaime now. I don't think there's. I can't imagine that there's a single Game of Thrones fan that is like on the side of like the good side, quote unquote, and doesn't want Jaime to get some happiness.
Sure.
And
Or just die an honorable death.
or die an honorable death.
That's what I want.
That's why he's gonna die. He became too good.
Yeah.
He started out so bad,
Yeah.
such an a-hole,
And then
he's
he
become
became
such a good
humble
person
and
that he's gonna die a horrible death. It's gonna be bad.
My favorite moment of the show was when Jaime sees Bran.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yes, that was my favorite moment. I'm a big fan of people who act with their face.
Okay.
And when you feel with that, Jaime doesn't even have a line in them,
you're
and
right.
you see it on his face,
He's like, "Oh, God."
the horror and the guilt
Yeah.
when he sees Bran, when he locks eyes
Plays it
with
really
Bran.
well.
And it'll be interesting because Bran will probably say some things like, "This needed to happen. I needed to be this way so that I could be the three-eyed raven."
Yep.
A friend of ours.
Brandon will definitely forgive him.
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
Friend of the show, Casey Duke, on our Batman anniversary
yeah.
episode, he believes that the entire story of Game of Thrones, the crux, the apex of the story, is between Bran and Jaime. That none of this happens if Jaime doesn't push Bran out of the window. He believes that
kickstarted
they are the crux of this, and maybe the ending of the show will have more to do with them than we think right now. We'll have to have him on.
Jamie out of a window.
Yeah. Look, hey, I'm of the
with his wheelchair.
I'm of the mindset that he locks eyes with Jaime, gets up and drop kicks Jaime. He's just been lazy as hell this whole time.
He really has, man. He's like right above the other Stark brother who can't run.
Rickon.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the useless Stark, the cannon fodder Stark.
Yeah. I mean, did you have a favorite moment? What was your Andy?
Probably had to be that Jamie and Bran moment. That was
Really?
That's cool.
Oh, see, I thought I was gonna be the odd man out on that.
I loved it. Just the shock on his face.
Yeah.
I really liked how it opened up, like the armies marching in. That was so
Yeah.
I thought
Oh, man.
that was so well shot.
Yeah.
And the kid running through the forest, that was stupid and not needed. But
Because it kind of felt like the first episode, right? Isn't that kind of like the first episode when we see
yeah.
the people?
that's
in
what
the,
they were shooting for.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the behind that scene,
Coming
they talk
full
about
circle.
it.
Okay.
How
Yeah.
it was Arya that was hiding
Yeah.
in the helmet and running through and stuff.
Okay.
And now it's just some random boy, and she's the one standing there waiting.
Uh-huh.
But I thought it was cool. So you just seeing the Unsullied marching.
How many?
Yeah.
How big that army
The
is?
black armor on the white snow.
Yeah.
It just looked badass.
It was really.
It looked
you're
awesome.
right, like
Black
you said.
armor on the white snow, and then I love Daenerys's getup. That kind of white
Yep,
fur thing,
yeah.
looks really cool.
Yeah, I just thought it looked so cool, and yeah,
It was cool.
it might be my favorite part. And one of my
Yeah,
favorites.
man.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, dude. Favorite part? I'm gonna have to be a little lame. I enjoyed the dragon flying.
Oh yeah.
I think it maybe also alludes that, because not anybody can just fly a dragon.
Yeah.
And they allowed him to fly a dragon, so I think that should put a couple of red flags up for
Daenerys.
Daenerys. That was a little too easy for him.
Yeah.
Being able to just hop on there and
Yeah.
fly. And So yeah, that part was cool, and then my favorite other scene was just the dialogue between Arya and the Hound. That dialogue, it was just funny. A little levity in the show.
A little short and sweet.
Yeah,
you could tell the Hound was happy to see her.
And then that amazing jump scare with the arts and crafts body parts. It was amazing. Like I loved that part. That was so cool.
There was a lot of great moments in this episode for there being no fighting whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I agree with what you had to say earlier, Andy, about that we are going to be setting up for action. It is just going to, and I can't wait. Next week's episode is going to be really good.
I mean, they came out and said, it's the longest continuous battle ever put on film.
Wow. Yeah. So they shot for like 45 days.
Yeah.
Nights, rather.
So
whatever, yeah.
At least one full episode, one of those hour 20 episodes.
It's going to be fighting.
It's going to be straight fighting, maybe even flooding into the next episode.
Yeah. Wow.
Oof.
Well, that's pretty much our show for today. Do either of you guys have any final thoughts? It's okay if you don't.
No, man. I'm just ready. I'm ready to see zombified Hodor.
Ooh, man, that's gonna be a heartbreaker.
I want to see him kill Bran.
Oh my!
That'd be so cool.
My gosh!
That'd be amazing.
Wow.
Messed up, but kind of want to see it.
I just think that even though Hodor is probably a zombie, he's still special. Like you see the Night King.
There's no brain to take over. So
Yeah.
it's still just Hodor.
Yeah. You just see the Night King.
He's just slower.
Yeah. You just see the Night King pulling him aside, hey buddy, how's it going? It's really treating him with kids. Yeah. You're doing good. I saw you. I saw you chase down some of those kids. You're good.
You're doing great.
Well, guys, that's our show for today. Thank you for tuning into the REC podcast. As is kind of tradition around here, Eric, my friend, what did you learn about today?
Man, I learned that Andy's a beast for marathoning this, man.
Dude, he marathoned it hard.
He's quick with the knowledge here,
I
man.
marathon everything. You want TV, you come to me.
Andy, did you learn anything about yourself, about the show?
I don't know. My attention deficit is kicking in.
Yeah, I got you.
No, I don't. It's cool seeing everybody else's theories. I could talk Game of Thrones all day, every day, and it's just everyone comes at it from a different viewpoint.
Yeah.
Everyone sees something a little bit differently, and I think that's awesome.
To piggyback off of that, that's what I learned. I learned that we can all three enjoy this show, and we can all three have very different perspectives on what's happening, and that is the beauty of that the show's done well. When it's oh, no, I think this, and you think that, and you think that, but we all like it.
Yeah.
And I like the things you guys think.
Yep.
Even though you're wrong about Rhaegar, I like that you have that thought,
This faceless man.
Yeah, we're done with Faceless Man, and do not listen to those.
Well, thank you for joining us today on the REC podcast for REC Comics and Collectibles. I have been your host, Roman Chavez.
I'm still Eric Icarus.
And thank you for
And
joining
me,
us.
Mitchell.
There we go.
Yeah.